Lakers unravel after Luka Doncic is ejected, suffering a blowout loss to Thunder. The Lakers had equity, earning it in a dominant win Sunday afternoon against the best team in the West. They had reasons to punt, a game on Wednesday in Dallas, and a schedule that demanded they win just 2 more times to secure the 3rd seed in their conference, putting them in strong position for a deep playoff run. And Monday, when they issued an injury report with a bulk of their rotation listed as questionable, it sure seemed like the Lakers were going to let big-picture thinking get in the way of the game in front of them. But the message from Redick was clear. We can control whether or not we get the number 3 seed, and we've got 4 chances to get 2 wins, he said pregame. I'd like to win them all. So yeah, that's the thought. The Lakers played hard. They played with passion. They made mistakes and turned the ball over, but they fought. They, and the Thunder, delivered on the kind of big-game intensity you'd want when 2 of the NBA's top teams meet in April. And then Luka Doncic got ejected. Official JT or ejected Doncic, who had already been called for a technical foul earlier in the second half, after Doncic scored to put the Lakers up in the 4th and yelled in Orr's direction. The Lakers and Doncic argued that he was yelling at a courtside fan, but it didn't matter. His night was done, and essentially, so were the Lakers. The Thunder outscored them by 17 in the 7:40 after Doncic got ejected, 1 possession after Doncic was thrown out of the game. Vanderbilt was called for a technical foul after blocking Alex Caruso's shot at the rim. LeBron James finished with 28 points. Austin Reeves had 24 and Doncic had 23. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander led Oklahoma City with 42 points. The Thunder turning the Lakers' 19 turnovers into 29 points. The Lakers play Doncic's former team, the Mavericks, Wednesday in Dallas.
When the Luka ejection happens, did you get an explanation for why he was ejected?
Yeah. Apparently he said something to a fan. That's all I could gather.
How do you measure that when clearly the game kind of flips from that point on as a factor, and how do you just kind of square that with the rest of the game and how it went?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Played so well defensively in that 3rd quarter, then we didn't get off to a great start on that end to start the 4th. And then just trying to manage on the front end of a back-to-back games that we need to win. You know, everybody's minutes, and I had a timeout situation because we lost our challenge, so I only had 1 going into the 4th, and was trying to eat a little bit more time. We got down 5, turned it over. They come back at an and 1, called it then. I'm kicking myself. So we called it a possession earlier, gotten LeBron back in the game. But I think our guys fight and spirit, withstanding a bunch of haymakers in that first half and just continuing to play, and then coming out and really playing awesome defense for 12 minutes. It was a great game. It was a great game that unfortunately didn't get to sort of finish out the way that I think every basketball fan would want, because of some decision making on some individuals' parts.
Do you take some general encouragement out of the way you played in these 2 games now as you head into the final 3? Obviously, you have to win 2 still to lock in that 3 seed, but do you?
I do. Yeah.
JJ, LeBron early seemed like he was out of a lot of rhythm. Turnovers were up and stuff like that. What did you see from him as the game wore on? And then I guess too, late, how did you feel like your team handled their ball pressure when it came to like turnovers and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think losing Luka there and having AR out there solo, like it was against this team, you need 3 ball handlers out there at all times, and just couldn't do that in the 4th. I thought LeBron, as the game wore on, was awesome, and I think that just the attack mode that he was, good mentality, just attacking the basket.
JJ, you mentioned pregame that when you're playing a team 2 games in a row, the team that loses the first game comes in, makes some adjustments. They made some defensive adjustments with how they were guarding ball screens with you guys trying to switch less. Shai was more aggressive offensively. What did you think of their initial adjustments and then how you guys countered that in, I guess, second, third quarter?
I thought the biggest thing, the entire first half, they just played really fast, and we had trouble setting our defense. So whether that was makes or misses, it was very obvious. They putting an emphasis on getting the ball across and attacking early. First play of the game, Shai just going downhill. So I think that was it. And then they played a lot of coverage with Hartenstein, mixed in a little bit of blitzing and a couple reds here and there, but they mostly played coverage with him.
You hadn't played Jackson and Vando a lot together lately. You gave them some minutes together in the third quarter. What did you think that did for your group, especially from a physicality standpoint, after they were getting as many offensive rebounds as they were up until that point in the third quarter?
Yeah, I felt like we needed that for the defensive end. I thought it was really good. And again, that's sometimes that combination is really good. Sometimes it's not, because it's harder to space the floor that way. But I thought with the way the game was going, it was good to give that a look. And Vando was awesome, particularly in the second half.
Lakers with 28 points in the loss. Let's go inside the locker room. He's with Mike.
LeBron, so up 1 when Luka gets ejected. What did you see kind of in that interaction, and how did that impact the rest of the game?
Yes. It was a weird couple minutes after that, starting with the ejection. I don't know why the ref was taking it personal. He had already gave Luka one, and Luka knew that. And Luka was going back and forth at that time with a fan that was sitting courtside, like Luka does when fans get to talk out of their mind, whatever the case may be. And Luka was going back and forth, and the ref took it upon himself to think it was, verse him or whatever the case may be. But then another tee on Vando after a block shot. And the game was just weird as hell after that moment.
You mentioned that the ref seems to take it personal when Luka said what he said to a fan. Did it start to feel personal with you guys? Because like you said, Vando got the tee, Luka obviously had the second tee, and then just some weird...
Yeah, the game was kind of, this is a playoff. We both teams knew that this was going to be a playoff type atmosphere, playoff type competition, playoff type feeling, and that's just got weird. The game got weird after that.
LeBron, if you zoom out a bit and just consider these 2 games, are you encouraged with the overall performance against obviously an excellent team in OKC, and what that tells you?
Losing?
No, encouraged about your perspectives moving forward as a team.
Still got more work. Still 3 games left. We got a lot of work to do still.
Yeah, so it essentially got to win 2 of the 3 to secure the number 3 seed. Are you still just worrying about Dallas though for right now?
Yeah, of course. That's always the motto. We had our opportunities tonight. They played exceptionally well. Tip your hat. They shot the ball extremely well. Now our focus on Dallas.
LeBron, what's the best way to deal with a team that's very physical? You guys shot 15, 16 more free throws than them, but felt like there were still more out there. Maybe for you. How do you deal with that?
Do match physicality with physicality. That's it. We did that tonight. They shot the ball extremely well. Like I said, you tip your hats for them.
You guys go to Dallas now tomorrow. You're one of the few people in the world who knows a little bit what it's like to go back to a place where you've done something special. What's it going to be like for the
Well, his situation is going to be totally different than mine. I think he'll get a standing ovation, and people will clap and cheer, and he'll hear his name a lot. That's what I'm expecting. My situation was totally different. He had no choice in the matter of what happened in his situation. I did. So it'd be totally different.
As a team, what do you guys want to do for him to support him through the emotion of that?
Oh, whatever he needs. I think winning will be the best solution.
December 2nd, 2010, yeah, that was unique compared to all these return games.
Say that again, I'm sorry?
December 2nd, 2010, unique compared to other return games, but you have been a part of AD's first game back in New Orleans, etc. What does it do for a team that's still coming together to all get behind the new player when you have this type of game on the calendar tomorrow?
I think it's very important. I mean, it's camaraderie. It's holding each other down, and whenever we face anything. And I think tomorrow's gonna be a lot of emotions going through Luka. Both the interior and then exterior, and it's our job just to do our job. If we do our job out on the floor, then we'll help them tremendously.
Speaking with Mike in the media.
We know that you like to engage in some friendly banter sometimes with fans throughout the game. So was that what's going on in the fourth, and the referee misinterpreted, or how did you see that happen?
Yeah, I mean, you can see it that happened, but I never got a fan ejected, never. But if he's gonna talk, I'm gonna talk back like always. So that had nothing to do with the ref. So I didn't really understand.
What's the level of frustration as you're coming back in here? Your team was up one after you make the shot, and you see OKC go on the run, and presumably you're watching in the locker room.
I mean, it was tough. I mean, we were right there. I think we fought the whole game. We were down 8 at halftime. We came back in the third quarter, and we were fighting, man. So it was tough to see that with this kind of situation that happened. And that's on me too. So I can't let my team down like that.
Luka, you were one of the players that was listed as questionable yesterday. JJ came in here and told us basically before the game that the mindset of this group was to try to go to win them all. How important was it for this group to go out there and compete tonight together, especially with such a big game tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, it was very important. I think everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people were a little banged up, hurt. But we decided, we all gonna play. We're still fighting for the best seed we can be, and I was really proud of every one of them.
Was there a conversation between you guys to decide all together to do it, or was?
Oh no.
You guys know.
Yeah.
Looking ahead to tomorrow, I'm sure since the trade, this has been a game that you've thought a lot about. Kind of where are you at emotionally with it? What are you looking forward to, if any of it?
Of course, that's going to be a lot of emotion for me. Like, I don't really know what to expect. I don't know how I'm going to feel, honestly. I'm looking forward to being back in Dallas, obviously, with the fans, seeing my teammates, ex-teammates. It's going to be very emotional for me, for sure.
Kind of sticking on that, I know when they came to LA, you mentioned that game helped in terms of closure, but obviously you still had more closure need to be had. I guess where are you in terms of that process, and what do you think tomorrow? I think this will also be your first time back in the city since the trade. Like, what do you think just being in the city and that game tomorrow can do from that standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know about closure. It's obviously a lot, but like I said, I'm excited to be back here. I know the fans gonna appreciate me being back here, so. I mean, honestly, I don't know how I'm gonna feel, but I'm just excited to be back.
Look, it's been a whirlwind, I think, for everyone involved. It's been a short amount of time since the trade, but how have you been able to develop some bonds with the guys in the Lakers locker room, and how do you feel about going into this environment with them as your teammates?
Great. I mean, it wasn't hard, since the first day or second day. We kind of bonded. Everybody just great people, and we just I don't know how to say, come together like as a team. And I think you can see that a lot of times on court. Just a great group of guys, and it's my new team, so we're going for the win tomorrow. But I think they understand it's going to be a lot of emotions for me.
Luka, you guys won the last game by 27. You're up by 1 when you got ejected. What do you feel like you guys showed here during the available part, before the ejection, in terms of just how you match up with the Thunder?
Yeah, I think we showed that we can beat anybody, when we lock in. Like I said, we fought back. It's very hard to win here. Like, the crowd's into it. They have a great team. And I think it just showed what kind of team we are. And I think we're a pretty good team.
Thanks, Luka.
Thank you.